Ladies and gentlemen, we have a powder keg situation in Ukraine that if it does happen, there's a resolution sitting in Congress right now that could trigger World War III. We're going to get into the details of the situation in Ukraine and this resolution in Congress. But first, if you like our videos from Americans for Limited Government, go ahead and smash the thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and follow. It helps our channels grow. Thank you very much. So what is happening here in Ukraine is the Russia and Ukraine are accusing each other of planning an attack on Europe's biggest nuclear plant. Now, this plant is located in the southeastern quarter of Ukraine, and the radioactive fallout, there's a lot of factors to consider, but if there was an attack on this plant, this radiation could go very far eastward, and it could be bad news for densely populated areas. Very bad news. Here's the facts we know about the situation so far. Russia and Ukraine are trading accusations of planning to attack the nuclear power plant, the largest in Europe. The plant is currently under control of Russian troops, which have raised concerns about its safety and its security. Ukrainian President Zelensky claims that Russian troops have placed explosive objects on the power units of the plant to simulate an attack. The International Atomic Energy Agency, which has officials stationed at the plant, found no evidence of activity related to explosives during the recent inspection, but they remain vigilant. Russia's spokesperson, Dmitry Peskov, has warned of a potentially catastrophic provocation by the Ukrainian army at the nuclear plant. Here's fact 6 of 7. The shutdown reactors at the Zaporizhzhia plant, I think that's how you say it, are protected by a thick concrete containment domes. And if there is a nuclear disaster at the plant, and approximately 300,000 people would be evacuated from the surrounding areas, according to the Ukrainian emergency services. So when things that trigger wars happens, they typically are false flags or incidents. Not always, but we've seen that in history. We've seen accidental triggers that are believed to be real, and it starts the whole war. It's really a sad situation. So this is not great news, but there's always been, ever since Russia invaded Ukraine, that fear in the background that something bigger could escalate. So now let's talk about this resolution in Congress that could trigger World War III if there was a sufficient attack on this nuclear power plant, meaning that there was radiation and there was fallout. So Senators Lindsey Graham and Richard Blumenthal have introduced a resolution stating that if a nuclear device goes off in Ukraine, then it would mean war with NATO. Listen to them say it themselves.
So we're introducing a resolution today, since the Senate resolution that says that if Russia or Belarus, or a proxy of Russia, explodes a nuclear device inside of Ukraine to stop the counteroffensive or to try to break the will of the Ukrainian people, such an attack should be considered an attack on NATO itself. We're of the belief that a nuclear weapon unleashed in Ukraine would irradiate large portions of Europe where we have NATO allies.
Putin could be tempted to use a tactical nuclear weapon, or, just as likely, try to destroy the main nuclear power plant. Both actions would have dire consequences for the health of Ukraine, but also surrounding NATO nations. Poland is at immediate risk if the use of tactical nuclear weapons or destruction of a nuclear power plant causes radiation to spread, as almost certainly it would.
And who knows who would create the false flag? Ukraine could create a false flag attack because they want further backing of NATO. They want to be members of NATO. Russia could. Who knows how this could turn out? But we do know, again, that false flags and misperception can be cause for war.